Hello, hello. I'm just checking in to see how everyone is doing. Want to make sure that everything is live, and I look like I've been bruised. Not sure what happened there. Um, how is everyone handling our heat wave? I don't know. It's warm. Yes, it is warm. However, it's normal. It's a normal summer, isn't it? Maybe not. Anyways, I wanted to talk to you today about something that occurred to me, and I'm sure most of you will see this later. But whether you're watching with me now, I can't interact because I'm live, or whether you see me later, I'm really glad you're here. And today I want to share something that happened the other day that unexpectedly turned into a coaching lesson. So we spent time picking cherries. It was nothing profound. We just climbed the ladder into the tree picking cherries. But when we finished, I sat and looked at these beautiful cherries, so ripe and so delicious. And I looked at it and suddenly thought, this is exactly what many women bring with them when they come to a self-abandonment audit call. It's not actually a bowl, of course, but it's an invisible one. Every woman I speak to is carrying one. Inside her bowl are all the things that she has collected over the years. People pleasing, overgiving, feeling responsible for everyone else's happiness, feeling guilty that she needs to rest, feeling guilty when she says no, always making sure everyone else is okay before she even asks herself how she's doing, never wanting to disappoint anyone in her life, constantly questioning herself, trying to be everything for everyone. And the interesting thing is, these women don't usually come to me because they don't know how things are. They don't come to me not realizing that those things are in the bowls that they carry with them every day. In fact, most of them know them very well. They'll often say things like, excuse me, I know I'm a people pleaser. I know I need to be better at boundaries. I know I say yes too much. They are incredibly self-aware. And some have read the books, listened to the podcasts, taken courses to help with their time management, self-esteem. They've done the journaling exercises. They've done the affirmations. They do the mindset work. So awareness usually isn't what's missing. And I think that's really important for us to all understand, because so many women assume that if we're still struggling, that means that they must not understand themselves well enough. But that's rarely what I see. What I see is something different. I see women who can describe every cherry in their bowl, but they've never been shown how those cherries are connected. They've never seen the entire pattern that is running in their life, because it's the pattern that is creating their life. The people pleasing doesn't stay isolated. It becomes exhaustion. Overgiving becomes resentment. Never asking for help becomes overwhelm. Ignoring your own needs becomes feeling disconnected from yourself. Saying yes when you want to say no slowly teaches you that your voice doesn't matter. And over time, you stop trusting yourself. You second guess every decision. You look outside of yourself for permission. You wonder why life feels so heavy. You wonder why you're always tired. You wonder why you feel resentful, even though you're doing all the right things. The cherries aren't separate. They are connected. Imagine looking at a bowl of cherries one at a time. You might notice one has a bruise, another one has a broken stem, another one isn't quite ripe. You're so focused on the individual cherries, but you miss the fact that they're all sitting in the same bowl. That's exactly what happens with self-abandonment. We focus on one behavior. I'll just learn to say no. I'll work on my confidence. I'll stop overgiving. Those things matter. But if we don't understand the pattern that runs underneath, we end up treating the symptoms instead of the root. That's why so many women feel like they've been working on themselves for years, yet somehow they still end up in the same place. That same exhaustion, the same guilt, the same frustration, the same resentment. Not because they're failing, but because no one has helped them to connect the dots. And this is honestly one of my favorite moments during an audit call. There's usually this pause. You can almost see it happen. Suddenly they stop looking at one cherry at a time and they see the whole bowl. They see how one decision has led to another, how one belief has shaped the years of behavior, how one fear has influenced countless relationships. And when that happens, everything changes. Because once you can see the pattern, you can't unsee it. It lives in front of you. It doesn't mean that your life changes overnight. It doesn't mean that you have to explode your life apart. And it certainly doesn't mean that tomorrow you'll suddenly never feel guilty again. It means you finally have a choice, a real choice. Instead of automatically saying yes, you pause. Instead of automatically apologizing, you notice. Instead of ignoring your own needs, you ask yourself, what do you need? Transformation rarely happens in one giant leap. It happens one decision at a time, one boundary, one honest conversation, one moment of choosing yourself instead of abandoning yourself. That's how your life changes. Not because you became someone different, not because you finally started honoring the person you've always been. That's exactly why I created the self-abandonment audit call. It isn't about diagnosing you. It isn't about telling you everything you're doing wrong. And it definitely isn't about making you feel broken. It's about helping you see your bowl, helping you recognize the patterns that you've been carrying, helping you understand what they're costing you, and identifying the one pattern that if you began changing it would create the biggest shift in your life. Because awareness is valuable. Because awareness without action keeps you exactly where you are. Insight becomes transformation when you begin making different choices. So before we finish today, I'd love you to spend a few minutes reflecting. If you imagined your own bowl, what cherries are sitting in it? What pattern keeps showing up in your life? What's the one thing you've known about yourself for years, but maybe you've never connected to the life you're living today? I'd love to hear from you in the comments. And if you're ready to understand your own patterns, on a much deeper level, send me a private message with the word audit, and we can chat about whether the self-abandonment audit call is the right next step for you. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you on the next time.